Let us react to what Rigathi Gachagua had with Sam Gituku of Citizen TV. This is a comprehensive reaction. Some of the things may be repeated because some sentences cannot be complete without borrowing alphabetical letters from here and there. Uh, I had to wait until late when everybody in the house was asleep. I had to watch it through the YouTube. I like watching such things through YouTube because with YouTube you can repeat several times. But because it was two long videos, uh, one was almost an hour, and the other one was 1.5 hours, something like that. So what I did was the parts that I found interesting or needed observation, I had to rewatch it, rewind it a bit, watch it. I was watching the body language. I was watching the kind of questioning. I would watching a lot of things, uh, and that is how I came to this conclusion. First and foremost, I've always insisted, and I'm still insisting, that Rigiji will be Ruto's running mate in 2027. And it would be very costly for Ruto to leave Rigiji as his running mate. Uh, you know, one vote lost is very painful. It is more painful than two gained. Because if you lose one and gain two, in reality, you have gained one. So you should, after gaining a reasonable votes, maintain them so that even if you get others, you don't lose the former ones. And that is why one of the prominent Kenyan politicians has always been saying that votes have been stolen, because he wonders how, after gaining so much people from, let's say, this and that area, he still loses. But I'll only give an example that if you take the votes that, 2007, Rift Valley overwhelmingly voted for Raila. And 5 years later, they voted, it's like they voted for him 90%, isn't it? And 10% didn't vote for him. But then the other time, the tables were turned, whereby he got 10% instead of 90%. So what I would advise any politician is that when you gain more votes or more strongholds, please try to maintain the former strongholds. But there are some which is a must, like what Gachagua is doing. He's doing something that is called political uh, suicide. He's like a bomber. What do you call this? The Japanese used to call themselves, I've forgotten the name. But then we even have people like those who know Dusit too, where somebody entered Dusit too, and he had explosives, and he was ready to die, and he wanted to die and die with other people. That is where Gachagua is. Gachagua has reached a stage where he has thrown all reasons to the wind, and he wants to spoil everything from within. He is not spoiling to go and join elsewhere, just like you see a person like Ruto. When Ruto disagreed with Uhuru, he maintained his home region, he maintained the central province, so that when he moves with that support. But from where I'm reading Rigiji, is that he's just what do you call a bomber, human bomb. He wants to haragania everything, and he will not succeed. Unfortunately, things are headed to a place where he will not be the running mate. I've started rethinking that. Uh, I also remember that the interview happened because the interview happened because he is the one who called the Citizen TV. I remember when that is what I'm talking about, reaching somewhere and then rewinding to listen what to re-listen to what somebody is saying. And when I was writing to re-listen, I remember Sam Gituku's opening remarks was that this interview is there on insistence of Rigathi Gachagua. So it is not Citizen that went there. It is him who insisted that Citizen go there. And when he insisted that Citizen go there, uh, there is something that he talked that I saw and I must comment about it. He commented and said that Kikuyu stations usually invite him and other stations do not invite him. So he told Sam Gituku, or Citizen through Sam Gituku, that in future he should be called. So you can see that somebody of that level, because news is news. I can tell you can be an office messenger, but if you are news material, and you can always be called, you don't have to beg. He was begging the other TV stations, they were saying, apart from Kikuyu stations, uh, other stations have kept away from him. That one confirmed that nowadays he is no news. He is no news. So that one I noticed. Uh, I also noticed that all the deputy heads of state in Kenya, we have had Jaramogi. The second was Joseph Murumbi. The third was Moi. The fourth was Kibaki. The fifth was Dr. Karanja. The sixth was Professor Saitoti. The seventh was Musalia Mudavadi. The eighth was Wamalwa Kijana. The ninth was Mudi Awori. The 10th was Kalonzo Musyoka. The 11th was the current president, and this one is the 12th. Only two deputy presidents have ever uh, answered eyeball to eyeball to the president. Only two. The first one was Jaramogi Oginga Odinga in Kisumu, and the language that Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was using is the very same language that Nani is talking, because Jaramogi was telling the president that if you are coming in my area, telling the president of the country, if you are coming in my area, now that is reducing himself to be a tribal king. And that one I'm also seeing that. But you'll find that most leaders in Kenya, apart from political minions like Dr. Karanja and Saitoti, to some extent also Mudavadi, most of these regional leaders, you enter politics na stock, una stock yako. But people like Rigiji has entered politics without the stock, and now he's looking for the stock. But what is important is, suppose he differs with the president in 2027, how will the voting pattern be in Central? First of all, I keep on saying, where my mother is buried is a few villages from Rigiji's place. We both are from Madera West, and my mother is buried at Stage Ngurue at Kayaba. Actually, those Ngurue are my uncle Ashira's Ngurue. That is why the place is called Stage Ngurue. Now, uh, I usually call the Rigiji cousin Mufiala, although we have no blood relationship. It is just a honorary Mufiala. All other leaders have been saying we are related. We have common ancestors whom we can all trace our ancestry to. But Rigiji, to the best of my knowledge, there is no blood relationship between us, but I call him Mfiala in respect of my mother, because my mother was from where Rigiji comes from. Now the question is, suppose there is a fallout between Rigiji and Ruto, what will happen in the mountain or in Kikuyu land? In as much as I would have advised that they be together, because as I've just said that this issue of dividing or losing a vote is more painful than gaining two. But you see, there reaches a time when it is impossible to stay together. So divorce is a must. Now let me look at how it is going to happen. Should they should they disagree? One thing is that this plan, and I believe there is hidden detail. There is Ruto's hidden detail in it of people now pledging his loyalty to Kindiki. Is a way of making sure that the Mount Kenya East will now not agree with Mount Kenya West. That is the genesis of it. So that should there be 2027 a difference, you'll be assured that the Embu, Meru, and Mbere, most of them would vote for anti-Ruto. They'll vote for Kindiki. And then you go also to the other side. You'll find that the other side, he is being kept busy with the Kina Ishungwa, Kina Ndindi Nyoro, and so on. So that is how you find that he. And then the Kikuyus, my mother's tribe, they are business people. They are business people in two ways. One, if you have an environment that will not interfere with their businesses, uh, they'll vote for anybody, anywhere. That is one. Two, I remember the late the late fellow who died. He was when he had cancer and he was about to die. He talked to Raila and said that he really want to start a business in Kisumu, but the problem is whenever there is political problems there, Kisumu people go to shops that are owned by Kikuyus. So Kikuyus would mind about business. And then again, another business for the Kikuyu is that if you keep your deal and whatever, and you don't interfere with their business, they will vote for you. Another thing that is playing against Rigiji, uh, ana akili ndogo sana. He's very easy to handle. Why am I saying ana akili ndogo and is very easy to handle? I'm saying so because if you look at the way he reacted when the government had been started, going around talking about shareholding and whatever, in Kiswahili wanasema kujipiga kifua. Amejipiga kifua, oh, sasa sisi we have shares, we take care of shares and whatever. He does not know that talking of shares, yes, it will endear him to the Kikuyus, but any formation that he forms, other tribes will not go for it because he has already amejipiga kifua. And to show that ni mtu wa akili ndogo kabisa, I will refer you to a case of the cabinet reshuffle. The broad-based, I mean, many people interpret it differently. Some people call it broad-based government, others say bread-based government. So whatever, if it is bread-based or broad-based, anyway, whatever based government it is, alichezewa akili hivi tu, and this is how it was played. The cabinet is supposed to be 21. So the first 10 people came, and he was told, what he's not telling people is that the government was supposed to be a 3-person government. 3-person. The first one was, of course, the president, the second Rigiji, and the third one was Raila. So the issue was everybody to give 7 ministers. Rigiji was to give 7, Ruto 7, and Raila 7. Now, with Raila, there was he gave out 5. Yeah, because the Turkana lady was a senior official of ODM party. So I tell you that Ruto ni sungura mjanja, because he gave Raila 7 cabinet positions to share with Azimio, which was to be that, and then Raila came up with a formula that out of 7, ODM gets 7, 4. ODM gets 4, and then the others wajipange na hizo 3. Now kujipanga 3, that means Kalonzo gives out 1 minister, Martha Karua gives out 1 minister, and Eugene Wamalwa gives 1 minister. Now a person like Kalonzo kupewa minister moja, and then Raila, wakati these people refused, then Ruto akashambulia, akaiba kwa Raila. So Raila Azimio was to give 7, but Azimio ended up with 5. So Ruto akaiba 2. And that is, unajua wakati ninamsifu and then people say ati mimi ninamsupport or anything, no, akaiba huko. But then alikachezea nani akili, akachezea Rigiji. You can find that wakati alichezea Rigiji, he gave Rigiji 7 positions. So he gave Rigiji 7 positions, and he told Rigiji to choose among the 7. Sasa Rigiji made sure there were 7. So the first list, and you people, if you go back to that time when the 10 ministers were out, and you see how Rigiji behaved, utaona hapo alichezwa, because Rigiji instead ya kungoja angoje mpaka 21 ministers wachaguliwe, he only saw the 10. In fact, you had people complaining that the government, the first list has come 10 and 7 are from the mountain area. Does it at broad-based government? How is it that it is broad-based? Na nini? And Rigiji hata hajangoja ile 21 ifike, the other 11 ameanza kuzunguka. Mimi I went and looked into my nilienda nikaangalia mambo yangu, sijui nikaangalia mambo ya mlima. He didn't know that the 11 were coming. And then the 10 was also given out purposely because Ruto noticed that days were going, staying without a cabinet for some days, it's really taxing. So when nani huyu anaitwa when the president saw that wanachelewa, he wanted I told you he's a chess master, and he wanted Azimio yarakisha. So he killed several birds with the same stone. On one side, he's convincing, he's fooling, that is not convincing but fooling Rigiji to be sisi tulipewa keki yetu, mimi nikiwa huko nachunguza watu yetu. And at the same time, he was placing a lot of pressure on Azimio over the 7 positions. So we are not talking about any other things, we're talking about yeye kupewa watu 7 instead of waiting for the next 10 11 MPs tuone kama ni wangapi wamepewa, he started going around kujipiga kifua. So he's somebody who is easily excited, but I think there's a reason for that. The reason is that there are two reasons actually. One reason is that Rigiji is suffering from the effect of Dr. Karanja regime, Karanja regime, and also even Professor Saitotism. You see, being rushed to be deputy head of state while you do not have a strong regional position, just like a person like Kalonzo Musyoka. If Kalonzo Musyoka today was made, if today Kalonzo Musyoka was made a vice president, alafu mwanze kumsumbua, you'll find that atasumbua kabisa, because he will move out with Ukambani. But I don't think that Nani will do it. And then we come to this issue of him going to Wakulima market. That was very much unfortunate. That was very much unfair, and that was very useless. All politicians, I can tell you, all politicians, especially those with tribal backings, all politicians would rather be on the eating table, but if they are not on the Kikuyus called it koharagania, na Luhyas call it ohotubula. This is a situation where there is a big sufuria of milk, and we want to each drink from that milk, and you find that we are not including you, and then you decide to go and pour even sewage into the milk so that nobody drinks it. That is what you say kuharagania. Even food, unaokota mchanga unatupa ndani ya chakula if you are not included, so that nobody, if I don't eat, others don't. And that is the thing that necessitated him to go to, that is the what led him to go to Wakulima. He wants the country to be ungovernable. Every politician, I can say, has that thing in him. Now the difference is the percentage. Some have 99%, others have got 9%. But then again, even if you have 99% like Regigi, do you have the political mass or something? I want to believe that Regigi does not have the political masses. He said that Wakulima market, first of all, it is in Nairobi. Two, he said that most of the traders there are Kikuyus. The last time I understood most, it means it is 99, between 51 and 99. If Kikuyus are 51% or if Kikuyus are 99. Now going to a place where let's say 98% are Kikuyus and 2% are, and then you talk according to what he told Sam Kituku, is that he talked 70, his speech was 70% in Kikuyu and 30% in. Now you go to a meeting, to a place, it's just like Kibaki going to a meet to open a Nyeri show, and then he reaches there and start talking in Kikuyu, because those people, that is Kikuyu land and Kikuyus are many. And a business in a capital, and a business where even if the Kikuyus are 97%, it was unfair for him to start talking in Kikuyu. And again, as Sam Kituku showed him, it was unfair for him to have a deputy president of the country talking things as a Kikuyu leader. That is one thing that he did bad. Another bad thing is that, as I said, that we have only had two deputy heads of state. Let me use the word deputy heads of state. We have only had two deputy heads of state who have We have only two deputy heads of state who have answered back the president openly. That was Jaramogi in Kisumu and now him. But then, uh, in my opinion, whatever happened was I- if he thinks that he gained, uh, it would have been different if a person like Raila went to a station and said what Nani said, but any other person wanasemaga bahati ya mwenzio usilalie mlango wazi. If you see Raila doing something in Kisumu, don't go to Nyeri and do the same thinking that you'll get the same results. Bahati ya mwenzio usilalie mlango wazi, and that is what he's trying to do. But the question is, will he succeed in that? I think I've repeated myself there. But then the similar question I want to ask myself and ask you: did the interview make him gain anything? No. He lost more than what he wanted to gain. By this, I'm saying, you look at the way he was answering Gituko. And I'm sorry, there are some people who are very personal friends of mine, uh, some who are even relatives. Before I watched it on YouTube, I could see on social media they were saying, hey, 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 ati angalia vile Nani is answering, Rigathi is answering with a lot of oge. Oge is wisdom, yeah. Is at wisdom detected. But actually, when people have decided to follow you, even if you you color yourself with sewage, they'll still praise you. By this, I say because from what happened, he lost everything, and I think I'll finish off by saying how he lost everything. The first thing he lost was that why had he to disclose about the timetable, not knowing already these things about missing the president's meeting when we had heads of state visiting Kenya. He was not there, and he said that he was in the mountain meditating. The president going to Nyeri and him going to another county near there. Such things already he's the one who is losing. And when he was in Nakuru, there was a time when he was in Nakuru for a Corino meeting where he was late, and when it came to time for him to speak, he had to cook up a story. He said that he boarded a plane and the weather in Naivasha was bad, so he had to go back to Nairobi, get a vehicle, come back. Stories which do not make sense, but stories which you give so as to tell the people, to tell the mass that you wait until the day you'll be the president, or you wait until the day you'll retire from politics. When you start writing your memos, that is when you'll now tell us how you are excluded from. Now telling us how the functions of everything, how the president has his personal assistant and whatever, and in that WhatsApp group you have been removed, and some of these things he was attacking. He was okay. Some things just hilarious. You remember when it was during Kibaki's burial, when the then deputy president, that is why I laughed, when the then deputy president was given time to speak, and he said that Kibaki is the best president ever to date, and Uhuru was there. Now he was also Rigiji was also trying to say that, and I can give a few examples of what he tried to say. The first thing is he said that he, he 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 has done his constitutional duties better than anybody else who has ever held that position. Now, the constitutional issues affect only two people because the others were vice presidents. The other thing was to go ahead and start saying what he has done. You see, I was this, I was that, and he's trying to to say that he can only be removed by the people who voted for him. He's daydreaming. He's daydreaming because uh, there is impeachment which happens and it is there. You can be ask kina Mwangaza, Kawera Mwangaza, ask kina Sonko, ask kina nani. People vote for you, but there is a way of impeaching the executive. He doesn't know that. And then I said that where my mother is buried to where he comes from, it's just a few villages. Uh, I believe that should there be an election, he would be shocked to get the response that he'll get the response that Martha Karua had in the last election. Remember, Martha Karua was running mate, but even in her polling station, she got very little. Why am I saying so? You see, there are those people who fought with Nani from the word go, uh, from the time when his brother was the MP to the time when the brother was a governor to up to this election time. People from Nyeri. Now, this is the message I tell you from Nyeri for those people who are not Kikuyus or not or even those who are not from Nyeri. What happened is that he had people who stood by him, but once he moved to Karen home, he left those people whom he knew from his days, even before when he was not even in politics. Those people are the people that he turned against and brought in a person like Wambugu. Now Wambugu, Wambugu is equivalent to Raphael Tuju. Raphael Tuju has always been against Raila's side, although towards the end, a few years ago, they became friends and whatever. So that is how he has ended up, that he has taken those people who were again. Now these are the people who are to approve his people. These are the people who are going to approve anybody who is going to meet him. That is where he's having that problem. And I think he will not succeed. So a person like Wambugu, all the time uh, he has been going against uh, what people in Nyeri have been doing. And that is what I noticed about him. With those few remarks, are they few or many? I want to say thank you.